from the youngest memories that I have, I knew that there was my dad, who is a 6'3" white man with blonde hair and blue eyes, and my and my mom, who is an East Asian Korean woman. She looks like a Korean woman.
Sure.
So we've got those two people. They clearly come from different backgrounds, and not if even if I didn't recognize that, everybody recognized that. When I was a kid, if I was with my mom, people thought she was my babysitter. When I was with my dad, they thought that I was adopted. And so and neither of those things necessarily are bad, though the babysitter one has a lot of racist connotations attached to it. My point is that I didn't ever belong to either my parents in other people's eyes. And there was a lot of tension there. So again, being mixed race has been really central in my life. And it's also taught me what it looks like to be in between, always, never one or the other.
Yeah.
When I think about framing all of my conversation, especially when we're talking about systemic oppression, bigotry, transphobia, racism, and so on, I'm existing in this in between. Even if, I think the sort of blanket statement is that I'm a trans person of color and therefore, marginalized both as a trans person and as a person of color, I also have lived my entire life with a white dad. And
Right.
that has brought me a lot of insight into white men, to be quite frank with you. And part of that is my interactions with him. It's some of it with interactions of his, people, if you will. And I say that like expansively, whether going to work functions, as a kid with him or just meeting his friends or what have you. Um, and it is also, I think, I have accrued privilege by way of my dad because he advocates for me, or he would have conversations, with for me. And it's not just, Skylar, trans person of color, it's his dad, right?